TelecomTV, where ICT connects.
Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. My name is Martyn Warwick. I'm reporting from Silicon Valley in Northern California in the USA, and I'm talking with Marie-Paule Odini, who is Chief Technologist with HP. Marie-Paule, welcome. We're here at this fourth ETSI meeting of the NFV-ISG. Big mouthful, it's the Industry Standardization Group of the Network Function Virtualization Lobby and Industry. Let's begin by asking you, what do you think has been achieved to date by the ISG, and why is this work so important for the industry in general, but more specifically for service providers?
Well, I would say that first, we started the ISG about 1 year ago almost, and initially it was a small group. But now you've seen the audience here. We've reached a huge amount of industry players, both vendors, operators, and both telco and IT vendors. So that's a major achievement, I think. And we are starting to see also some concrete output from the ISG. There's been 4 documents published. There are more coming, very soon. Some will be published after this session. And there is a timeline which is now very aggressive to bring out, some pre-specifications.
Well, we're here backstage at the event, Marie-Paule, which is why there's some noise and the viewers and listeners will no doubt hear it as well. But let's carry on. What impact do you think NFV will have on service provider business models going forward? And when do you think the hype around NFV will become a practical reality?
I think it's going to have a major change. I mean, it will be, of course, step by step, but it really decouples, the infrastructure. So all the what we call the NFV infrastructure, compute, storage, networking, that could be sourced, a bit anywhere. They could use cloud resources and expand, from other service provider cloud resources. And then they also have the flexibility of also combining different network functions, which are now virtualized from different providers as well. So we are moving from the kind of silo service provider that has its own infrastructure, its own network functions and its own services, to something which is now layered and composed. And it can open lots of business models, like network function virtualization, infrastructure as a service, virtual network function as a service, and then have service provider that really just combine virtualized functions from different sources.
What do you think are the biggest challenges facing service providers when it comes to the adoption of NFV, and how, in your view, can those problems be overcome?
There's a number of them. First, it's really bridging IT and telecom. And so far it's been, still, kind of two worlds, even though we have IP everywhere and lots of functions in the control service plane that I've moved a bit, towards the IT. The core telco functions are still, very much in a bit of a silo telecom, network organization. So these teams need to work, closely together. They need to, there's some education that needs to happen, for this team to understand each other and to build this, new type of environment. So that's definitely one challenge, which, maybe is a bit slowing down things. And also the adoption of these new business models. And they have to accept that things on one side are becoming more flexible, but on the other side, because they are more flexible, there are new business models and things are not being operated the same way, they are not being sold the same way, and there's a number of new paradigms.
So leaving the hype behind, could you give us some real-life examples of how, in general, NFV is being deployed in the network?
So in terms of the general ones, we are tackling different type of use cases. As you know, ISG has defined 9 use cases, and they range from some which are more to migrate network functions over kind of general purpose platforms and virtualized network functions, and that can be applied to a number of functions, whether it's in the home environment, like a set-top box becomes a virtual set-top box, router in enterprise become a virtual router, and the execution of some functions can be either on the enterprise or in the back end or somewhere else. So there's all these aspects, and then we also tackle some of the core functions. So EPC, the Evolved Packet Core, becomes virtual EPC. IMS becomes virtual IMS. So really some of the core telco functions.
And being more specific, how is HP helping its customers to prepare for NFV?
As HP, we focus on a number of areas. I mean, we have this, Pan-HP initiative around NFV. It's very strategic for us. We provide, of course, hardware elements, compute storage, networking. We also provide software. We also provide services. In our organization, we focus on, software and services for telco. And in this space, we really have a focus on two main areas. One is the NFV orchestrator. So with that, we engage with a number of operators on any type of use case, basically. And we have this NFV orchestrator that is able to, provision and orchestrate the lifecycle of the virtualized functions. And then we also have a number of network functions which we have virtualized or that we have virtualized in our portfolio. Things like, virtual IMS with virtual HSS. We also have virtual CDN and a few others, and we engage also with a number of operators. Right now we are, a number of POC and work with service providers.
Marie-Paule Odini, thank you.
Thank you.
TelecomTV, where ICT connects.